In a world driven by power and secrecy, we unveil the truth behind global events. In a world shaped by war, politics, and hidden agendas, we cut through the noise to expose the forces driving global events. From geopolitical tensions to economic warfare, from covert operations to propaganda battles, we break down the crises that shape our future and the mechanisms of control behind them. Whether you're here to uncover the truth, challenge the narrative, or simply understand the bigger picture, the Crisis and Control Report is your go-to source for hard-hitting analysis and fearless discussion. Subscribe now and let's pull back the curtain on power, conflict and control. A new video will premiere every Sunday. Now let's dive in. Oil isn't just a resource, it's power. It fuels economies, shapes global politics and has sparked wars that have killed millions. Governments rise and fall because of oil. Elections are won and lost over its prices, and yet most people don't understand who really controls it. Some say the president controls gas prices, others blame foreign nations. The truth? A handful of powerful players manipulate the oil market, and they don't care about everyday people. Let's break down who really controls oil, the wars fought over it, and how it affects everything from your paycheck to world politics. Most people think oil prices are set by their government. They're wrong. The price of oil is controlled by a mix of government alliances, massive corporations, and market speculators, not any single politician. Here are the major players. OPEC, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, a cartel of 13 oil-producing nations that controls about 80% of the world's oil reserves. Led by Saudi Arabia, OPEC decides when to increase or cut production, directly influencing global prices. Big oil companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, Shell, BP, and others. These companies don't just extract oil, they control lobbying, influence governments, and dictate energy policies. In the United States, oil companies have spent billions lobbying politicians to block clean energy and keep fossil fuels dominant. Russia and the United States, the energy superpowers. Russia is one of the biggest oil producers in the world and has used energy as a weapon against Europe. The United States became the world's largest oil producer thanks to fracking, but it still imports millions of barrels a day. Wall Street and oil speculators. Investment banks and traders bet on oil prices like a casino, driving them up or down based on market fears, wars, or supply issues. In 2008, oil hit $147 per barrel, not because of supply problems, but because of speculation and panic. Geopolitical tensions and conflicts. Wars and instability in oil-rich regions like the Middle East often spike prices, convenient for those who profit from chaos. So next time gas prices go up, don't just blame the president, look at the bigger picture. Oil doesn't just power cars, it powers wars. The Gulf War in 1991, Iraq invaded Kuwait, threatening global oil supplies. The United States intervened, not just for Kuwait's freedom, but to protect access to cheap oil. The Iraq War in 2003, officially about weapons of mass destruction, but many believe the real goal was securing Iraq's vast oil fields. After the invasion, US and British companies got access to Iraqi oil contracts. Libya in 2011, Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown after he threatened to ditch the US dollar for oil sales. After NATO's intervention, Libya's oil industry was thrown into chaos. The ongoing proxy war in Yemen, a fight between Saudi Arabia and Iran with oil shipping routes and geopolitical influence at stake. Whenever you see military action in an oil-rich region, ask yourself, is this really about democracy or is it about energy control? Oil money runs deep in politics. In the United States, oil companies donate millions to political campaigns, mainly to candidates who promise to protect fossil fuels. Presidential elections are often decided by gas prices. If they're high, voters blame whoever is in charge, even if it's out of their control. Politicians pass laws that benefit oil companies while ignoring climate issues. Why? Because lobbyists write the policies for them. One example, the United States gives billions in subsidies to oil companies while barely funding renewable energy. The result, dependence on oil stays locked in place. The world is shifting toward renewable energy, but big oil isn't going down without a fight. Solar and wind power are now cheaper than fossil fuels in many places. Electric vehicles threaten the dominance of gasoline. Countries like Norway are leading the way. 90% of their energy comes from renewables. So why isn't the transition happening faster? Oil companies lobby against clean energy policies. Governments subsidize fossil fuels instead of renewables. Developing nations still rely heavily on oil and coal, but here's the thing, change is happening. Tesla, wind farms, and new battery technologies are disrupting the old system. Oil companies are even investing in renewables, proving they see the shift coming. The question is, will the world move fast enough before another oil-driven crisis happens? Are you enjoying this breakdown? If so, hit that like button. It helps more people see this content. And if you want unbiased, fact-based analysis, make sure to subscribe and share this video. New episodes every Sunday and Wednesday. Oil has controlled the world for over a century. It started wars, shaped politics, and dictated economies. But the future doesn't have to be locked in oil. Governments can shift subsidies from fossil fuels to renewables. People can support cleaner energy choices. Technology is already making oil less necessary. Oil is power. But real power lies in knowledge, knowing how the system works, who profits, and what comes next. So next time you fill up your gas tank, remember, you're not just buying fuel, you're buying into a system that shapes the world. The question is, how long will oil keep that control? This is the Crisis and Control Report. The world is changing, but who's really steering the future? Subscribe, stay informed, and question everything. New videos drop frequently. See you next time.